I'm going to start today's demos with the data quality capability within the new Purview experience. Data quality is a fully integrated part of the new data governance solution. It is not a separate app that comes pre-configured with the rest of your data governance experience. And what I mean by pre-configured, I'm going to go over to the data quality experience within the business domain here. I mean that the data quality is completely integrated with the underlying meta model for the rest of this product. So data quality rules that are set at an asset level or a table level roll up into a data product that also then similarly and then compose into an overall score at the domain level, giving you complete end-to-end visibility and roll-up structures around how data quality affects your overall data estate. So now I'm going to jump into I'm going to call it my favorite homepage for data quality, which is the editor, the asset quality editor. This is essentially what I call the homepage for how you run and manage data quality. What I'm doing here is I'm running data quality. I'm running this view on top of the customer asset inside the customer master list data product, back to the metaphors that Shushma talked about. Right here off the bat, you're going to see there's a couple menu items. There's an overview page, which this one gives you the scores, the last run, the overall trend score. You can drill into the trend score and see the history of the run and the details of what actually the rules are actually run. You can also see the active rules that are being assigned and the total number of scans that have been run, which are the same as this thing, the number of scans and how often they're run. What I now want to show you, before I jump into the actual rules, I want to show you a little bit how I use this product. And that is, first, I always start, when I look at an asset, I actually start with the profiler. The profiler is a new capability within the Purview product that actually profiles your data heuristically. You can actually understand the maybe weirdness in your data. You can actually set up where you want to run a profile and run a brand new profile. If I click this, I can run a profile. And what it'll do is it'll actually create this distribution on this asset. So as an example, I might use a profile to understand maybe where data should be populated and it's not, such as an address line field that I expected to always be populated. I can actually use a profile to understand how many times that field is blank. Or I can even use it to actually look at the content, such as in a gender field. I might be looking at a profile that says to me, I've got a bunch of information in there. Sometimes I see male, female, and unknown. I will see sometimes M, F, and unknown. And then I got this random other one, which is a 0. And so you can kind of get a sense of using the profiler to say what kind of rules might make sense for me to create. And then after you do that, you can actually go into the rules editor, again, on this asset, and you actually can create rules. And see, in this particular case, we've already created a bunch of rules that actually each individually can be turned on and off. Each one can be edited, and you can actually see the history of each rule. But you can also, interestingly, you can actually create rules out of box. And what we're providing here is a simple low-code, no-code solution to bootstrap your data quality efforts for non-technical users. It comes out of box with rules to create duplicate row checks and empty field checks, unique value checks, data type mismatch checks, lookup table checks. So if you're trying, for example, to do a lookup on reference data like countries or state provs, you can also do custom rules as well. So this is a little more advanced. If you're familiar with ADF's regex expeditor or regular expression editor, you can actually write pretty complex rules with this custom editor. As an example, I used this on our customer master to create a rule that says all company names must have a consonant and a vowel. A normal Larry English information quality indicator kind of rule. You can actually edit those and create those with custom rules as well. I'm going to jump. I can also, the other one that I want to show you today is that you can actually create suggested rules. And so this is one of the AI suggesters or AI recommenders we're building into the product as part of the age of AI. This actually goes through and looks at the actual content of your data and makes rule recommendations to, again, help you bootstrap your data governance efforts in a nice, simple way. In this particular case, I'm not going to select them because I've already previously selected them. As you imagine, I've done this demo several times, but you can actually go ahead and add them and they will just, boom, add to the existing list of rules. I can actually drill into an individual rule as well and look at the history of the rule, the pass count, how often it's been run, the pass rate and scores, so that you can actually have rule level granularity when you're setting up your rules along the way. I can actually kick off a rule as well. I can run a scan. So if I added a rule, I can run a scan. I can force a scan in the background. And what I want to show you now is that, and then you can actually monitor that scan and how that's going. And so I'm going to go back to the home page, the data quality, I'd say the summary area, and you'll see there's a manage. This is new. For those of you in private preview who haven't seen this before, there's a new manage drop-down list. And what this allows you to do is now monitor where those scans are at. So in this particular case, I kicked off a scan a couple minutes ago, and I'm able to see that it's accepted, and I can hit refresh. After accepted, it'll be in queue, then it'll go into process, and it'll be completed. So that's actually one way to actually see things. And you'll notice here that there's manual, but you'll also notice that they're scheduled. And so I'm going to show you that. You can actually also set up scans, scheduled DQ scans. And what this allows you to do is actually set up a name and a scope for your scan. So you get to pick the assets and data products into assets within data products that you want to run. You can schedule them, and then you run through a review that actually then I'll just that then you can actually, it's a wizard, so that you can then kick off rules and have them run on a regular basis. The other thing I want to show you is also new, that is called alerting. What alerts allow you to do is similar to scanning. They allow you to set up notifications for when we might have three things. One is that we might have a threshold score drop. So maybe the score drops down by 15% versus previous runs, or maybe it increases by 15% or 50% or whatever. You can set those kind of notifications now in the product, and it will email the users down below here around a threshold change. You can turn on and off notifications. You can also tell remind you if you actually have a failed quality scans. For example, if a schema changed and you weren't expecting it, maybe there's a field that was dropped. You can actually also set that threshold for what assets you want to be looking for, and you can scope that scan, hit the review button, and then hit that review button and then schedule that scan. The final capability within the data quality module I want to show you is actually actions. We have also built in go-dos directly into this editor as well that help you understand, again, how to actually improve the quality of your data. And what this Action Center does is it gives you a bird's eye view for that data asset that you're in right now. What needs to happen for what rules failed, and we now allow you to go all the way down into the rule, assign a rule to somebody. So say I want to assign it to my friend here who's running the demo. I can assign it to him to say, you need to do something about it. Status, it's going to email him that says, go take care of this. And you might ask yourself, what would he take care of? We're actually providing you the exact query that you need to go run for the rule that failed. And so we're doing that on purpose. What that does is it allows you to go back to the data source, again, because Purview doesn't actually, that data source is probably sitting in a data lake or some ODS. It allows you to go back to the ODS and actually see the actual query and actually simulate the actual data sets that failed. So with that, I've taken you basically through a whirlwind of the new data quality capabilities. There's 8 or 9 things in here that are new. If you haven't seen them in private preview, I'm really excited about this. The final thing I'll show you about data quality will be when I get into the data state health section. So just hang tight with me for a second.